Also invest 5,000 for 6 years. Okay? Yeah, it doesn't match. The name doesn't, like, if you want to make this match to be a little bit simple, don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to get the name wrong. Like, you can just replace that with your name. Doesn't matter. Yes. And then you'll say, yes. So we have also invest 5,000 for 6 years. Find the future value of his investment if the interest he received is 12% per annum simple interest. So here they say 12% per annum simple interest. Okay? There are two formulas that we can use here. We can use the simple interest formula. We can use the compound interest formula. Okay? So Elena now needs to decide which one am I going to use? Am I going to use the simple interest or the compound interest? Yeah, how did they know which they are going to use the simple interest? It's because they said 12% per annum what? Simple interest. So how are we going to do this one? We're going to collect the data. Okay? So we decide on the formula that we're going to use. Let's decide on the formula that we're going to use. For number A, we tell them, we think we're going to use the formula that says A is going to be equal to P. Okay? And then what do we have after that? Open bracket. 1 plus I multiplied by what? By IN. Okay, let's go and work now. A, do we know what is A? We don't know what is going to be the future value. Okay? So we'll put a question mark here. We don't know this one. Present value, do we know what is the present value? The money that we are investing today. How much are we investing today? Okay, we're investing 5,000. And then for how many years? It's N again. How many years? It's going to be 6. And then I, which is in decimal, supposed to be in decimals again. So what is going to be I? It's 12 divided by 100 again. And then what you get? It's 0.12. And then after that, we're going to do what? We're going to say A is going to be equal to 5,000 again. 1 plus it's 0.12 again. Multiplied by what? By 6. Close bracket. And then you type this in your calculator exactly the way it is. So you have 5,000. This is 5,000. It's 1 plus 0.12 multiplied by 6. Close bracket. Now your cash calculator will know what should you start with first. What you get? You get 8,000, 8,600, like this, 0.00. So Khoto after 6 years is going to have 8,600 again. How much interest did Khoto receive? How much was the interest that Khoto received? For us to get the interest, we're going to say is the accumulated minus the present value. Okay? So what is going to be the interest that Khoto received is going to be 8,600 minus the 5,000 that he invested. And then how much do we get? It's going to be 3,600. So this is the interest that Khoto received after 6 years. Now, let's check number P then. On number P, they say, if we take 5,000 invested for 6 years, but let's cancel this one. This one is no longer applicable again. And then they say, P, it's 12% per annum compound interest. So which formula are you going to use now? We're going to use the formula for compound again. How do you know which we're going to use the formula for compound? Because they said 12% per annum compound what? Interest. And then we go to number B. On number B, it says A is going to be equal to P1 plus I to the power of what? Of N. Again, we know what is our data. Okay? What is our data? We have 5,000. Okay? Open bracket. We have 1 plus it's 0.12 to the power of what? Of 6. And then instead of doing it like the simple interest here, what is it that we're going to have? We're going to come and say, okay, we have 5,000. Okay? 5,000, open bracket, it's 1 plus 0.12, close bracket, to the power of 6. Like this, no? And then what do we get? It's 9,000. 9,069 comma 1. Now, which one seems to give us more interest? Let's check. We're going to calculate the interest here again. What is going to be the interest? It's 9,869 minus 5,000 again. And then what is going to be the interest that we receive this side?
4,869.
4,869,11. Okay. It seems as if the compound interest is giving us more money than the simple interest. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, it gives us an opportunity to say, okay, what is the difference between the simple interest and the compound interest? Let's take this opportunity to understand what is the difference between a simple interest and a compound interest. Compound interest and a simple interest. What seems to be the difference between the two?
The interest of the compound interest is higher than the interest of the simple interest.
Yeah, but why? How did that happen? The difference between a simple interest and a compound interest is that on simple interest, let's look at what happened. We're going to check what really happened here. On simple interest, we invested 5,000. Okay? If invest 5,000 and then 5,000, we're going to invest it at T0. Ne? And then at T1, we're going to get an interest. What is 12% of 5,000? We can always get that one. How do you get 12%? You can say it's 0.12 multiplied by 12. 0.12 multiplied by 5, I mean, multiplied by 5,000. And then on term number 1, we received what? 600. Okay? Yeah. So when we go to the next one, this is term number 1, we have 600. And when we go to term number 2, so we're going to have 5,000 plus 600. Okay? Meaning which all in all, the money that is going to be on the bank is going to be 600 plus 5,000, which is going to be 5,600. We go to T2. Ne? On T2 again, this is what we're going to get. You are not going to receive an interest for 600, but you're going to receive interest for the 5,000. If you receive the interest for the 5,000, what are you going to have? Let me put it this side so that everyone understands. So this is what we expect basically. Agree invest 5,000. This is simple interest. You'll see the amount that we're going to get. Agree are going to take this thing here for 6 years. So this is T0. And then we want to go up until what? T6 again. Okay, this is T1. This is T2. This is T3. T4 and then T5. Now, since we're investing 5,000, we're going to get 600. 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 And then we're going to get 600. And then we're also going to get what? 600. Now, if you take this one plus 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 this one, what do you get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? You get 3,600. Okay? What is 3,600 plus 5,000? 8,000 what? 600. So what did they do here? Basically, what is it that happened here? So on the simple interest, we get an interest based on the original amount. We only get interest based on the original amount. If when I invest 6,000, you're going to get interest on 6,000. If you invest 12,000, you're going to get an interest on what? On 12,000. Does that make sense? Okay. So the interest it's affected by the original amount that you've invested. That is simple interest. Now, what is the difference between the simple and the compound interest? On compound interest, it doesn't work that way. On compound interest, they also consider which your interest also received an interest. That is why you're going to get more money. Do you get what I'm saying here? So let's look at the difference between these two. What is going to happen? Agree here. What did they have here? This person here on T1, they had 5,600. Agree we're still going to have the 5,000. And then here, they had this 600 plus this 600 that they got here, plus 5,000. So if we go and check on term number 2, how much was in the account? The money that was in the account was going to be 1,200 plus. It was going to be 6,200. Yeah? And then if you go to term number 3, what do you have? You have this 600, you have this 600. So basically, you have these two 600. So you put 600. You also have another 600. And then you also have the 5,000. So what is it that they have here? They have 6,000 what? 800. You see where we're going with this one again? But how does the compound interest work? Compound interest doesn't work that way. Yes, you may ask what?
How do you know you'll end up with T6?
6 years.
It's 6 years.
Oh, 6 years.
Yeah. So we have T0 again. How much do we have on T0? We have 5,000 again. And then when we check our bank account after month number 1, let's say you're impatient. You put 5,000, you go and check the following month. How much do I have? Oh, this is how much I have. I have 5,000 plus 600. Okay? So how much do I have all in all, much? 5,600. When you check term number one and term number one here, they're exactly identical. But as we go to number two, this is what is going to happen. Look at what happens. 5,000 is going to receive its own interest. What is the interest for 5,000? Interest for 5,000, I agree, it's 600. Okay? But the 600 is also going to receive its own interest because it's also in the bank. So the interest also received what? An interest. So that is the difference between a compound interest and a what? And a simple interest. So when you go to month number two, instead of you having 5,000, agree here you had 6,200 on the simple interest. No? You're not going to have 6,200 because you still have to give us the interest for 600. What is the interest for 600? You say 12% of 600. So you say 0.12 multiplied by 600. You get what? 72. So when you go to month number two, you're going to get 6,272. 6,272. That is the amount that is going to be in the bank account. And then what is interesting is that again now you have this new amount. 72 now is also going to receive its own interest when we go to month number three. So how many things now are receiving interest? You're going to receive interest for 600. Okay? You're also going to receive interest for 5,000. You're also going to receive interest for what? For 72, right? But you shouldn't worry about that, because I can see now you're starting to be worried. But Mara said, do I need to know this? The formula is already doing that for you. You see that? The formula has already told you which compound interest is going to be more. Why is it more? It's because you already put the interest of the what? Of the interest. Why is the simple interest small? It's because you only consider the what? The original amount only. Let's do activity number one then as a classwork.